Good morning. Welcome back to 52 Lessons in 52 Weeks. In today's episode, I want to continue talking about different jargon that you'll hear when dealing with real estate. So the first thing I want to talk about today is the MLS, the Multiple Listing Service. So this is a computer database that when a home goes on the market, it goes into the MLS. When it goes into the MLS, other agents can see it and other websites that you're accessing gets their information from the MLS. So it goes into the MLS and then that's how it gets out, and now the home is on the market. The second thing that you might hear is called the PSA, or the Purchase and Sale Agreement. And Purchase and Sale Agreement is the offer that we use to make an offer on a home, and we do it on what's called the PSA, or the Purchase and Sale Agreement. And in the Purchase and Sale Agreement, you'll have contingencies. A contingency means that the offer is subject to whatever the contingency covers. So you might have a inspection contingency, meaning that the offer is subject to the buyer having an acceptable inspection, or the offer is subject to the buyer being able to get financing on a financing contingency. So you'll see lots of different contingencies in the PSA, and during the closing process, that's what we'll go through, is how do we take care of all of these contingencies. The next thing you'll hear is earnest money. And earnest money is like a deposit that you put down on the offer, but it basically is what the buyer, a dollar amount that the buyer will put down up front. And if the buyer backs out of a contract that's not covered by any contingencies or covered by anything in the contract, if the buyer backs out, the earnest money is what the seller will keep for taking their home off the market and for the buyer not performing per the contract. And last thing I want to talk about is title and escrow. And what the title company will do is they'll go back and they'll research the title to ensure that there's no liens on the property, or that basically the title is clean. So when it transfers over to the new buyer, the buyer will have a clean title and they don't have this big lien that they have to pay off. And escrow, again, a lot of times will be at the same company, but escrow is the person that kind of coordinates all of the money. So they do a lot of things, but one of the big things that they do is they get the money from the buyer, they hold it in their bank, and then when it comes time to fund the transaction, they'll fund it and they'll give it to the seller. And also the earnest money is deposited with escrow, so it's a neutral third party, and they'll release it whenever it needs to be released. And so they do a lot of things, coordinating a lot of things in the background, but handling the money is one of the big things that escrow will do. And again, title and escrow, two totally separate things, but a lot of companies will have a title and escrow within the same company. Hopefully this helps. Stay tuned. We got a lot more jargon to cover. If you have any comments or questions, again, put it in the comment section. If you got something that I want to cover, put it in the comment section as well. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.